Hello, welcome back to Talk of the Town. On your next visit to Daufuskie Island, a must-see attraction would include a stop at the Daufuskie Island Community Farm. Simply put, it is one of the most amazing examples of sustainable farming you will find anywhere. Local resident and creator of this sustainable farm, Pat Beechler, joins us today to talk about the farm's inception and its continued growth. Pat, well, honored to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
This is a delight.
And so let's talk a little bit about how it started, why you started it, and what you got going out there.
Well, back about 2 years ago, the Daufuskie Island Conservancy asked me if I would start a sustainable program for sustainable living. And I said, well, if we're going to be sustainable, we need food. So that got me thinking. I'm a farm girl. I was raised on a farm and had farming all my life. My husband and I did. And I missed all the animals. I had chickens and all at home, but I thought this is a great opportunity. And one of the landowners, Bill Greenwood, had 8 acres. And he said, I'll lease it to you for $1 for 10 years. So that was like unbelievable gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I got started. My grandson was working at Polyface Farm in Virginia, which is a sustainable farm. And he came down, and he had a month in between in February, and he came down and built the first goat barn with a lot of volunteer help, got people really motivated and excited about it. And he set up a sawmill and milled all the lumber for the barn there on the property. And another young man on Daufuskie, Aaron Crosby, was very interested and volunteered, and he and a lot of other people worked to build the goat barn. And my grandson Ben showed him how to run the sawmill. Since that time, Aaron has been the one that has milled all the lumber for all the buildings.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and with a lot of volunteers, just unbelievable number. I'd say we have 20 hardcore, really active volunteers on Daufuskie that have been very involved with this.
They do the farming and the building.
Yeah, we have a garden manager. We have an assistant garden manager. Dave Carlson's the garden manager. Eileen Pojednik is the assistant garden manager. And Sharon Howard's another one that's very active with it. And just a lot of people really active. I can't name them all.
Right.
Then we have the animal husbandry. And we started with 1 cow, and she had a calf, which we'll be breeding her again soon. And the calf probably be bred next year. Jersey cows, which have high butterfat content and are really sweet, beautiful cows, mild-mannered, easy to take care of. And we started with 2 goats in June of 2010, and we now have 16 goats. So they have proliferated. We make goat cheese. We don't sell anything. It's all the community that shares the eggs. We have chickens, turkeys, guineas, and the goats.
What are the guineas for?
Tick patrol. They love, their favorite food is ticks. So I would have 20 tick bites a day when I started. And so now it's rare for me to ever have a tick unless I go out in the wild bush,
right,
working out where they don't go or haven't had enough of them to really clear that area. But they really have done a great job, as do the chickens and turkeys.
Right.
So
what are you farming out there?
Well, we have the animals, and then we have the garden. And we had a wonderful winter crop. Couldn't get people to pick it enough. The kale and the lettuce and all the winter things. Summer's harder here. We're finding that out. So okra's something that does really well. Yeah. Can't kill the okra, but we're working on that. Our goal next step is to do tilapia. We have a hoop house that we put up the frame for. So this fall, when it cools a little bit, we'll start raising tilapia in bins, aquaponics, and microgreens on top of them. So through the winter, we should have a lot of things that we can raise in there. Probably also be raising earthworms and doing a lot of composting. We do a lot of composting. The chickens are the big helpers with the composting, to get in and scratch the manure and the straw and all the weeds and all and really compost it. So.
Right. So if other people are interested in either starting a sustainable farm or just coming to visit, I mean...
the farm is open 7 days a week. So people can, they can call me for tours that I will either do or one of the volunteers will do, or they can just stop by and do a self-tour, just go through. It's like a promenade around the barns. They're all separated. My grandson, he's from up north, and he said, "Meemaw, you have to put them together." And I said, "No, we don't have to worry about tromping through the snow in the winter, because up there you build buildings close together." Yeah. But here I put them in a circle with a pasture in the center so that people can walk around the outside and see all the buildings, and they can think about one thing before they move on to the next. So
yeah.
There's the chicken house, and then there's the goat barn, and then there's the turkey house, and then there's the rabbit hutch, and then there's the garden, and then there's the dairy barn, and the hog house, which we'll be getting hogs in the future. We had hogs, but we don't have them right now. We have bees.
Okay.
For the honey.
Over the last 2 years, you have really done an amazing job. I mean, it's really
well, the volunteers, the community has
really done an amazing job.
People still have they'll say Pat's Farm, and I'm like, no. This is DeFusky's farm.
Yeah. It's a community. It really is a community farm.
It is, and it's the people from Hague Point, from Melrose, from Bloody Point, from the historic district. All areas are covered. And they're all very active. I mean, you know, great. Have CEOs that have learned how to milk. Our treasurer on the board, Anita, she said, "I'll never get my husband. He's a city boy. He'll never come look at the farm." Well, he wound up coming down and milking. So there's pictures of the milkers on the wall. So we have a lot of CEOs that have learned to milk a goat, learned to milk a cow.
That is so much fun. Pat, thank you so much. If nobody's ever been to the DeFusky Community Sustainable Farm, they need to come visit you, because that's it sounds unbelievable.
Well, we'd be happy to have them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Pat. And we will be right back with Talk of the Town.